It has been a very long 2 weeks waiting to dupe my rank 3 Punisher 2099. So many people have been asking when the Punisher showcase is coming. I've been dying to make it, but I couldn't because for Punisher to be at his full potential, you do want him to be duped. Mainly just for battlegrounds. He only wants Sig Wando. He's still good unduped though, but I'm not going to get too much into that because I already made a separate video focusing on unduped Punisher. All you need to know is that he wants to be Sig 1 to be at his full potential, especially in battlegrounds. Today we're showing off the duped rank 3 Punisher in all areas of the game, well except war, because I don't do war anymore. But I'll be showing some battlegrounds gameplay, some story gameplay, some fully boosted gameplay, basically every area in the game. We'll start off with battlegrounds against a rank 3 onslaught, and Punisher 2099, he is metal, so you can't shrug off those neural shocks, so you will take a bit of damage, but you nuke onslaught so fast that you don't take much damage at all. And Onslaught was a bit stingy, not throwing his special one for a bit there, so this could have been even faster. If you're wondering what the best relic is for Punisher, it's the Green Goblin relic. Basically, when you use this, it will make your next special attack cost a certain amount of less power. Kind of like a very tiny power back boost. So, yeah, that's pretty nice for Punisher. Just lets him get his special 1 off after his special 2 easier. We're up against a rank 3 Killmonger here. Of course, he's a great counter for Killmonger since he has that very long armor break on the SB2. I have seen that a lot of people have been picking Punisher 2099 from the selector, and it's really nice to see. As I've mentioned before, I've literally been playing this guy since I was in Act 5. He carried me through story content. And then I tried him out in Battlegrounds when Battlegrounds came out. And he was a beast, man. But I wasn't doing YouTube back then. So, I couldn't really show off my gameplay that well. So when I told people Punisher was a underrated champ, he was great in Battlegrounds, no one believed me. So it's really nice to see loads of people picking him from the selector. Loads of people getting hyped when they pull him. And there's good reasons to be hyped because he's a very underrated Battlegrounds attacker. He's good on defense. He's good in pretty much every area of the game. As I've mentioned before, we're up against this rank 3 Moore here. And you don't normally want to heavy attack with Punisher in Battlegrounds because if you use your heavy attack, you will apply a stun. But this costs you battery. And, you don't want to run out of battery with Punisher. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your damage. You're going to lose all your combat power rate reduction on your opponent. This is a rank 3 Domino, and Punisher isn't immune to Domino's BS damage. He takes crit fail damage, so you do take a bit of unavoidable damage in this fight, but just like the Onslaught fight, he nukes us so fast that this will still win you most matches. And a really nice thing about P99 is you see that SB2 critting there, doing massive damage. Well, it's very likely that Punisher's SB2 will crit because he gains extra critical rating from his battery. Combine that with the extra crit rating from the stat focus. The best stat focus for Punisher is critical rating, by the way. Yeah, it's just very likely that your SB2 will crit. We nuked that Domino, took a bit of unavoidable damage, but that will still win you most and a lot of matches. We're up against this rank 2 Bullseye here, but you're going to see it doesn't matter if this Bullseye is rank 2 or if it was rank 3. You see how Bullseye's power is not going up at all. Well, if Bullseye never gains bar of power, he can never evade us, he can never throw massive special attacks into our block. So Punisher basically makes him a potato, but the catch is you do have to be running collar tech for that fight. I am running 3 out of 5 collar tech there, and yeah, that's the only fight in Battlegrounds where I'm running collar tech, and it's the only fight you need to run collar tech with Punisher in Battlegrounds. It's definitely worth running because Bullseye is a pretty big problem still, even after his nerf. Rank 3 Bullseyes are still very dangerous. So invest a couple points into Collar Tech, and you can counter him with Punisher 2099, which is really nice. We got him down in like 40 seconds, and you can see by the time we killed him, he didn't even gain half a bar of power. So we would have easily been able to kill a rank 3 bullseye before he ever gained a bar of power as well. And against this Nick here, it's not an ideal matchup for Punisher because he shrugs the armor break going into his second life. But we played the match going for SB1 in the first life, then go for SB2 in the second life, and we got it down in 60 seconds for a non-ideal matchup. That's still pretty good. Punisher, he does rely on the armor break a lot because it does basically double his damage, but even without the armor break, you do gain a decent attack rating increase just from his battery being fully charged. So, I mean, you can use him against champions that are armor break immune or that shrug the armor break, but it will be a lot slower than if you use him, you know, against champions that can armor break. But it's not like that makes him bad, because CGR relies on armor breaks, and pretty much most champions in the game that you can armor break, Punisher can nuke. So we have a rank 3 foe on here, and it doesn't matter that she's unduped because the rotation would be exactly the same, the fight would be exactly the same if she was duped or unduped. What I like to do in this fight is bait out 2 special attacks, well, 2 special ones, or if you push her to SB2, bait out that special 2. By the time you've done that, you would have entered your battery mode, so you now have 90% combat power rate reduction on her, so she's pretty much never going to reach a special 1. So now you can knock her down with your special 2 into her blue light form, and there's no shot of her getting a special attack before we kill her. And that was rank 3 versus rank 3. 44 seconds is wild for a rank 3 foe on. This rank 3 Weapon X here, we have no way to counter his regen. Punisher does have a heal block, but it automatically applies if your opponent gains a regeneration buff. It doesn't apply if your opponent gains a regeneration passive, and it's a pretty useless ability anyway because it wastes your battery, and as I mentioned multiple times, you do not want to run out of battery with this guy. So yeah, his heal block kind of useless, and thankfully it doesn't trigger against Weapon X anyway. So what we're going to have to do is simply out damage the regen. We just let his rage fall off, and by the time that has, our SB2 is going to nuke most of his health, and 54 seconds without a way to counter his regen, that's crazy, man. And we got this rank 2 Dust here. Dust is actually a pretty tanky defender. You wouldn't think it by looking at her, but she has a pretty big health pool, and she has a lot of critical resistance, which means you're less likely to crit against her. I didn't even realize this until JS pointed it out to me. But yeah, Dust kind of tanky on defense, and she's pretty annoying as well. But Punisher, again, nukes her so fast, has that nice power control. Our SB2 unfortunately didn't crit there, but we still did plenty of damage. That will be because of Dust's critical resistance, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, 48 seconds for a Dust, really nice, and Punisher makes that fight really easy thanks to his power control. Dust's special attacks are pretty long. Well, her special one is pretty long, so it makes the match pretty long, and her SB2 does a lot of block damage. So yeah, very solid counter for Dust. And we got this rank 3 Bishop here. We started out the Punisher trinity of videos with a Bishop fight. We have to end the Battlegrounds fight with a Bishop fight as well. And now that he's rank 3, it was 36 seconds. And again, we didn't even get an SB2 crit in that fight. So that was worst case scenario. That could have been even faster if our SB2 crit. Now, this is some Axe 7 Terax. Got about 500k health. And I'm running a full synergy team here. My team is 2 Punisher 2099s, a Cap IW, a CGR, and a OG4. I've already gone over all these synergies before, but I'll quickly refresh your memory. Cap IW lets you start out with 25% additional battery. And this does not have a stack limit, so if you put multiple Punisher 2099s on your team, you'll start out with more battery. So for example, if you have one Punisher 2099 on your team, you'll start out with 25% extra battery. If you have two on your team, you'll start out with 50%, etc, etc. It's really nice that that synergy doesn't have a stack limit. OG4 just refunds the first use of your battery in the match, and CGR gives you a fury buff on your heavy attack, but that's not really useful, so I shouldn't have even had CGR on the team because I don't want to be using heavy attacks with Punisher yet. There will be some stun locking later in the video, but for now this is no synergies in the same quest as that Terax, and we're just fighting this random Silver Centurion to show off the power control with no synergies. So what we did at the start of the match is wait for our battery to fully charge. With no synergies, that's going to take 14 seconds, so you kind of have to dodge your opponent till your battery is charged. But it's not really that strong of a setback. 14 seconds isn't a long time to wait for this strong of utility, and if you really don't like doing that, you can bring along synergies to ramp you up instantly. But yeah, that was a 500k HP, easily killed without baiting out a single special attack. And you can tell when I'm running collar tech in the video, by the way, by the little tech symbol underneath my opponent. You see that little tech symbol there? I'll circle it. Yeah, that means I'm running collar tech, and this is a Act 7 Punisher 2099 boss. The best counter to this Punisher is ironically Punisher, and you really don't want this guy using any special attacks, because if he uses his special attacks with all those surge charges, he's gonna get a load of power gain, gonna get shot to an SB3, or he's gonna spam loads of special 1s and special 2s, and as we all know, Punisher's special attacks, they hit very hard through the block. So we can't use our special attack here because the other node is Matador, so we only gain a bar of power when Punisher gains a bar of power, and of course he's not going to be doing that until the end of the fight. But yeah, we didn't even have access to any special attacks in that match until the very end, and that was like a 300k HP. So even if you can't use special attacks, you can still kill around 300 HP without baiting out a single special attack. And this is just event quest. This is just your average event quest storm. Now let's say you just want to mindlessly rush through EQ. Well, Punisher is your guy, because this is where the stun lock on the heavy attack actually comes in use. You can kill around 200 to 300 HP health pools max unboosted. But now we're moving on to the fully boosted gameplay. You've seen his damage non-boosted in battlegrounds, you've seen some story content. Now we've got a test Punisher out at his full max potential. We got power backs, we got suicides, we got everything, and this fight is over in 19 seconds. Like, of course we're fully boosted and everything, but how many champs can do that? Not many. Not many champions can do that, even with all the stuff we're giving Punisher here. And fully boosted with suicides, you can stun lock a 500k HP health pool, which is pretty nice. I mean, it's not like boosts are rare. It's not like you can't fully boost and just put suicides on. That's not unrealistic to do in story content. So if you just want to mindlessly go through content, yeah, Punisher's your guy. Rank 3 him. Can just stun lock 500k health pools. That is, yeah, I hope that don't get nerfed, to be honest. That could actually get nerfed. But yeah, we're at this, I think it's Gauntlet, or is it Eternity of Pain? I think it's Eternity of Pain Dormammu, and this guy has Footloose, so we don't want him using a special attack, otherwise he's going to go unstoppable and have that annoying evade. And I did this fight in one of my Punisher videos before. I tried to make this video as unique as possible, but I've already made 2 Punisher 2099 videos, so some of the fights are going to overlap. There's only so many fights you can do in game with a big enough health pool for a rank 3 max boosted Punisher, but that was definitely worth showing. That was 800k HP in 37 seconds, which is pretty ridiculous, man. Punisher with power back boost just goes crazy. But yeah, I did try to include as many unique fights in this video as I could, trying to do my boy Punisher justice here, because he really is a great champ. Where would I rate him in the 7-star tech class? I would say he's definitely a top 5 tech 7-star, maybe top 3, maybe. I'm being totally unbiased here. If I was being biased, I would say that he's top 3, but since I'm not, I won't push my luck, and I'll confidently say that he's a top 5 tech champion available as a 7-star. His utility is great, his damage is great, he's got a unique form of power control. What more can you want, really? But yeah, we nuked this bishop. Unfortunately, we didn't get any crits on the SB2, but still, 41-second fight for 800k health pool. That is peak. Crucible Yondu here. This is the last fully boosted fight. We have a bit of a unique fight for the last fight. It's more showing off his utility, but this is the last fight showing off Punisher's max damage. This is another 800k health pool, but this has foresight, so when we intercept, we will gain a nice passive fury, so that's going to increase our damage even more. We actually got our SB2 to crit there, as it should, because it has so much critical rating. It should be critting most of the time, but I feel like it's not crit a couple times in this video, which is kind of annoying. But hey, at least it's shown you when Punisher does and doesn't crit. He cooks either way, so it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not like when he doesn't crit he's bad. When he doesn't crit, he still does plenty of damage, and you can still get good crits after his basic attacks as well. But yeah, last fight of the video, we're up against this Labyrinth of Legends Red Hulk, and what I want to test here is how long we can keep our battery going for. How big of a health pool can we kill whilst keeping our battery up? We can't go for the SB2 in this match. Well, I do go for one SB2, but we can't use multiple SB2s, because each time we use that, that's going to use 20 of our battery, and we want to keep our overcharge up for this entire 1.5 million health pool fight. So we're going to have to spam our SB1s. What the SB1 does is it will put you into overcharge mode, and this makes you rapidly gain battery. So if you want to take massive health pools whilst having 90% combat power rate reduction on your opponent the entire match, this is the way you have to play him. But in my opinion, Punisher is not built for long form content. That does not mean his damage is bad at all. It means his damage is more geared towards battlegrounds fights, story content fights. He's just not a Labyrinth of Legends champion or a Necropolis champion. He is a Crucible champion. He can take Crucible bosses just fine at rank 3. But yeah, long form content, Punisher isn't your guy. For battlegrounds or for story content or for EQ cheese where you can stun lock your opponent, then he is your guy. We can't even call him underrated now, because most people are picking 7-star Punisher 2099 from the selector. Most people now see that he's a great champion, packed full of utility, got insane damage, and yeah, I'm happy to see it, man. But yeah, by spamming SB1s, we were able to get this 1.5 million health pool down while staying in our battery mode the entire time. That's 90% combat power rate reduction on your opponent for 1.5 million health, which is just insane. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next video.